You know, when you're really excited to watch a movie and you hear such great things about it and you're building up all these expectations, and then you get super worried that you are not going to like it, slash, it's not going to live up to those expectations, but then you watch it and it does? Yeah, we're talking about that kind of movie today. I am back from my first ever TIFF experience, and I have so many movies to talk to you about, but I literally could not wait to talk about this one. We are talking about Joachim Trier's Sentimental Value, his latest Norwegian language film. This one won the Grand Prix prize at Cannes this year, which meant, oh my god, we are in for an absolute treat. I am a huge fan of his work. I love the way that he just taps into these really difficult conversations, and also he's not afraid to really show how emotional he is through his writing, through his directing, through the characters. I think he and Eskil Vogt are such an incredible duo, and they honestly do it again for Sentimental Value. In his latest film, he re-teams up with some frequent collaborators, including Renate Rensvi and Anders Danielsen Lee, and we also get some new appearances from Stellan Skarsgård, Elle Fanning, and Inga Ibsdotter Liljas in this very dramatic, very emotional, very, very funny family drama. It features two sisters, and they have a very estranged relationship with their father, a film director. He writes a new movie role for Nora, and when she rejects him, he goes about and finds a very famous Hollywood actress, Rachel Kemp, to play the role instead. I mainly thought that this film was going to be a very straightforward story about this very complex father-daughter relationship and really getting into the crux of that. And while we do get that, Joachim and Eskil create such a beautiful story about a really beautiful sister relationship, about home and belonging, and just all of the history that happens within the four walls that keep us safe. I was very surprised by this film. He started off his filmography with Reprise, then he did Oslo August 31st, and then The Worst Person in the World, which does remain my favorite film, and it is in my Letterboxd top 4. So if you have not seen any of his films prior to this one, I definitely recommend starting with honestly all of them. I think Worst Person in the World is the one that most people default to just because that one gained a lot of traction. I would say that Sentimental Value finds a really interesting way to combine all three of those films into one. You have a story about a young woman who is struggling, and we see insecurities, more of her own struggles within herself and with her mental health. It's very similar to The Worst Person in the World, also starring Renata, and the way that she had to navigate problems with her own career, her own love life, romance, relationships, another bit of a fraught father-daughter relationship in that story as well. But with Reprise and Oslo August 31st, you also have these very dark themes and explorations of mental health. I just recently watched Reprise for the first time, and whew, that was a bit of a journey to go on. What can I say about the performances in this film? Oh, nothing, just that they are absolutely incredible. Renata is wonderful as this actress. We have probably one of the funniest sequences that he has had in one of his films in this film when it comes with her introduction. She is about to go on stage. It's opening night of a production that she's on, and she is freaking out. It continues to pull out this gag for I don't know, 5-10 minutes. It is a really long sequence, but it's just such a joy to watch because she is so ridiculous. If you want to see another film where she plays an actress, I recommend Armand from about a year or two ago. It's another Norwegian language film. She plays a very feisty actress in this film as she's called into school because her son is the bully. She has some great moments in that. In particular, she has a very incredible one shot where she is laughing hysterically and then falls into tears. It is amazing to watch her work and be one of the most talented people on earth. And that's exactly how I felt watching Sentimental Value too. She goes from such high highs and these exuberant joys that she feels to very low points in her life, and it's very moving to see that. You just want to give her a hug. I was reading an interview that Joachim Trier did. He said that American 70s cinema was a big influence. A lot of Woody Allen films, Peter Bogdanovich movies, and I definitely get the feel for that. One that I thought of quite a bit when I was watching this ended up being Ordinary People from 1980. I really like how all of these different characters, there is an unspoken thing between them, and that is the fact that their father left them and he didn't really want to be a part of their lives. They never really talk about it, but they are talking about it, especially the two sisters between each other. I felt a lot of that in Ordinary People as well, where this family is so grief stricken that they just don't really know how to talk to one another. They don't know how to communicate. They don't know how to be open and honest with each other. And it's a great film if you have not seen it. It's a Best Picture winner, so obviously it should be on your list. Stellan Skarsgård is truly wonderful in this film. A lot of people are talking about him potentially winning an Oscar for this role. I would not be mad at that whatsoever. He knows his way around ladies. He's a huge flirt. He is very warm to actors, but it is really sad to see how he just doesn't know how to be around his daughters, and that constraint and that fraught relationship grows the more we get into this film. When it comes to the fraught father-daughter relationship, I thought a little bit about Aftersun while watching this one. It's not a perfect comparison, but I do think that that film very much gets into the we're not really talking so much to each other. We kind of keep bouncing around the main elephant in the room. I very much also thought about Somewhere by Sofia Coppola. Also helps that Elle Fanning is in that movie too. I think there's just too much to be said and talked about, and maybe they're worried about hurting each other's feelings even more. Maybe they just don't know what to say at this point. Whatever it is, it works in this film, it works in those films. Wonderful double, triple features if you just really want to ruin your day. As I said, this film goes and encompasses a number of different storylines and relationships and directions, and a lot of them were very unexpected for me. It took me a little bit of time to fully understand and get into all that he was talking about. I think one of the most surprising elements of this film is that it's so much a story about the house and the history that has happened within this very beautiful home. I am ready to move in at any point. All of Us Strangers is a really nice companion to this film, I think, in my world. It's about this man who travels back to his home and he kind of revisits the ghosts of his past, not only through his parents and seeing apparitions of them, but I think he also just feels like a little kid again. He feels a lot of those same childish feelings that he had when he was a little afraid of talking to his parents. This film explores so many different generations of people that have come through the home. The way that he captures a lot of the different parts of this home, I think, are really beautiful, like seeing all of the little lines along the wall where people, as they grew, they made the little markings. That just made me feel so warm. I have to say that the sister relationship just took me out. That is when I started crying. I absolutely love what Renata and Inga do. There is a beautiful moment that they share toward the end of the film where they are reflecting on their childhood, where Renata's Nora is in a really dark spot in her life, and her sister is there to comfort her and to provide her with just some of the most beautiful words that I think you could ever hear someone in your life say. This is one of the films that really made me wish that I had a sister, whether it was an older or a younger sister in my life. It just got me. It totally got me. I didn't expect this moment in the film. As I said, you think that you are leading up to like a big moment between Nora and her father, and that they're going to work everything out and things are going to be great, but it's been about the sisters this entire time, and I love that so much. I think that gets into Joachim and Estil's beautiful emotional writing, and I think that they just always do a wonderful job writing female characters. Another film that has made me very jealous of not having a sister in my life is My Neighbor Totoro. I mean, it's just one of the cutest little films. Seeing those little girls running around together, having fun, playing, going on adventures together is just just so sweet. A lot of praise is being showered on Renata and Stellan for their performances, which is absolutely deserved. We love them. But Inga, my god, she was truly the glue that held this family together, the glue that really elevated this performance and this film in so many different ways. Elle Fanning is pretty good in this film too. I do have to say that I maybe wasn't quite as interested in her character and her scenes as I was in the other three, mainly just because I loved being in their relationship. She has some pretty great moments in this film, especially when she starts working on the movie and she starts trying to understand how she can bring this character to life. She's got a great Norwegian accent that she tries out that maybe doesn't work entirely. There is a great gag involving a piece of IKEA furniture. If you are loving the performances in this film, you are going to love the humor in this. Like I said, I think it's the funniest one that he's done. The element of this film where Stellan's character is making a film within a film is very interesting because he chooses to process a lot of his feelings and emotions. What we think is regarding his mom is instead something about his own relationship with his daughter. When I was watching Hamnet, which I'm going to talk about on this channel at a future date, I felt that that was a really great double feature with this movie, not because they're necessarily about the same topic. I mean, Hamnet is a story about William Shakespeare and Agnes losing their child, and that is a whole different film. That's a whole different emotional can of worms that, again, we will get into. In that film, William Shakespeare takes so much of his grief and he channels it into his work to create Hamlet. And I just thought that those two would be such great companion pieces, just finding a way to find your words through your work. Also, if you really want to have like a very emotional, bad day, that's a great double feature to have for yourself. This was the first film that I watched at TIFF. There was a lot of pressure because, again, it was the one that I was so excited to see. I've been waiting for months ever since this premiered at Cannes. I'm so happy that I loved it, that it met all of my expectations, maybe even exceeded them, just because it ended up being a story that I couldn't really place at any point until all of it came together and just hit me all at once. I hope you guys get to enjoy it too when it comes out in November. My final score for this film is a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Joachim Trier just does not miss. There's a reason why Charlie XCX said it was Joachim Trier summer. I will see you all on the next video. Like I said, we have so many TIFF movies to get through. I'm very excited to talk about them with you guys, to share some recommendations. So I will see you next time.